This woman is preparing an unexpected joy for her fiancé. I didn't expect to see my husband and ex-girlfriend kissing. In her anger, she looked for a hiring company to turn him into a mess. Unexpectedly, he found the wrong place. The other party is an ordinary rental company, only in charge of housework and young husbands. They even thought she was an employee who came to apply for a job. Song-ji is a woman who is just divorced. Legally, there is nothing wrong with divorce. But the people around him looked at this group of people with prejudice. Song-ji comforts herself that divorce is not a stain. She also began to pursue her life. After all, where did she start to go wrong? One second her tears almost flowed. The next second she snored like thunder. Almost sat too touched. When Song-ji got home, she didn't expect that her sister was abroad. Appeared in front of her door again, and brought a child she had never met. Compared to Song-ji's normality, her sister Youngju is even more disoriented. She works in any direction. 5 years ago, Youngju sent a video to her family to solemnly declare that she bought love to have a baby because she wanted to be a single mother. Their parents were angry. They immediately wanted to go abroad to catch her. But the speed at which they flew there was not as fast as the speed at which Youngju successfully underwent surgery. It's all over. This is the first time Song-ji has met Youngju-sun. She had no experience in children, so she made a bad face to ask. Turning her head to criticize the child, Youngju decides to let her live here. She asks Song-ji to keep it a secret from her parents. She had to go to work tomorrow, so she asked Song-ji to take her to the kindergarten. Song-ji originally wanted to refuse, but Youngju quickly handed over an envelope full of money. As a poor person, Song-ji will not miss any opportunity to make money. She immediately accepted the money and happily agreed. The next day, Song-ji wore a black jacket and super cool black glasses to take the second to the kindergarten. The parents knew that there would be a boy who had just moved in from New York in class today. Whispered loudly that this kindergarten was very difficult to get into. This child's family is certainly very wealthy. Maybe the boy's mother speaks English very fluently. Song-ji didn't know that she was misunderstood as a second mother. She took the second to go through the procedures, seeing the highest tuition price. She couldn't help but click her tongue in exclamation. My sister in the United States also didn't waste her work. It seemed that she had earned a lot of money. After school, Song-ji went to the cafe to work. The owner of the restaurant is a handsome guy who often fascinates her. She constantly reminded herself that she must not let idle and enchant the shop owner is a bastard. Obviously, her name is Song-ji, but the owner deliberately calls her Sally. Although she corrected him a few times, he still called it that. At this time, a guest banged on the table and asked if his things were finished. Song-ji pulled the owner over to make beer for him. The owner of the restaurant smiled a little before explaining. His handsome smile can only attract women, not men. Song-ji Nan brought out the coffee at this time. So a danger was solved by the two of them. Song-ji scolded the innkeeper in his heart. His hands and feet were sluggish, and he was not even awake. But because he was handsome, she was able to tolerate any flaws. At the same time, the person who is also handsome is Jae. Met someone who was even more straightforward than Song-ji. You can be your boyfriend. Something? Song-ji comes to pick up Jae from school. Their mother wanted to get to know her, but as soon as she stopped raising her head, she was already far away. Everyone discusses Song-ji's career. I heard that he works for a financial company in Fuhuan. He also drives a supercar. But in fact, Song-ji's car is just a bicycle to pay for the house. In addition to working part-time at a coffee shop, she also goes to deliver goods. When passing by the center of the house, Song-ji found that her house had been lowered again. She asked the broker to paste the money from the sale of her urgent house in the most eye-catching central position. The broker criticized her house for its poor location and unfavorable traffic. Houses with good conditions will never worry about not selling. For example, the house behind him, Song-ji couldn't buy a house in that area. But he accidentally received an order from the person inside. Song-ji delivered the goods to the girl who had just opened the door. I didn't expect that the other party was my friend. They used to be the closest, but later for some reason, they were separated from each other. In order not to be recognized, Song-ji hurriedly ran away quickly. But the more hurried, the more ruined. Due to slipping, she fell to the ground a few times. Seeing that Hannah wanted to check on her situation, Song-ji immediately ran into the escape stairs to hide. Song-ji didn't expect that after many years of not contacting her, she was already married and she was still in a luxurious place. It proves that Hannah is married to a very rich husband. When Youngji arrives home, she finds Song-ji's arm injured. Jae also cares if she's in pain. Song-ji was touched and hugged Jae and cried loudly when she learned that she was struggling to earn money to pay off her debts. Youngji offered a condition of exchange. The monthly living expenses and half of the interest on her house will be paid. The condition is that Song-ji has to take a part-time job to help her take care of Jae. Jae kept saying that he was wrong. Do you need to pave the way for me? In the morning, Song-ji is cooking for Jae. When she heard the screams in Younggi's bathroom, she ran in to check. Seeing a floating toilet full of soapy foam, Song-ji angrily called the house management. But on both sides he said chickens and ducks. On the management side was a robot answering the phone. No matter what she said, the other party kept repeating the same sentence. Song-ji takes Jae to the nursery. She didn't want to greet others to avoid unnecessary communication. She knew that if she started talking to strangers, they would immediately ask about her family's situation. But what is afraid of is to meet that. She was called back by a parent. Song-ji thought very quickly how to answer both politely and distantly, make the other party no longer want to ask again. But she had just turned around, and she hadn't even had time to say anything. Then someone called his name next to him. Song-ji didn't expect to meet Hannah here. At this time, she found out that Hannah's child was Jae's schoolmate. She was lying about whether to tell her situation. Then he heard Jae call her mommy and threw herself into her lap. Hannah misunderstands that Jae is Song-ji's child. Other parents were also around listening to their conversation. If you want to explain, you have to tell the trouble. So Song-ji saw that he had misunderstood, so he just misunderstood. Then she pulled Jae away. Song-ji had just taught the boy not to lie. Jae later has the parents of a new child who arrives. Compliment Jae is handsome like Song-ji. Song-ji in his heart bloomed. She threw away all the words she had just taught Jae in the back of her head and then chatted enthusiastically. They know how beautiful they are, but they're stopped by Song-ji. When he arrived, there was no one to teach Song-ji again.
Dolly.
I know, I'm not lying. Let's shake your hand. In the evening, Hannah was always thinking about Song-ji's story. In high school, they were close friends who could talk about anything. I don't know when the two suddenly became strangers. Today, other parents all want to be friends with Song-ji. They think that Song-ji is a successful person who returned from the United States. He will definitely be very good at English. But as far as she knew, Song-ji's English was not good. Hannah thought for a long time. She took out her phone and sent a message to Song-ji. Song-ji saw that the message had been turned off. The rope couldn't sleep, so she felt interested in Song-ji's wedding photos. The boy asked who the man she had disgraced his nose was. Song-ji recalled the embarrassing old story. There are only 58 days left before the wedding date. She happily sent cards to her colleagues, also looking forward to her appearance in her wedding dress. She does not ask for wealth and wealth. I only hope that the two of them can be together until they are old. While her husband was still working, Song-ji came to clean the wedding house. She heard the door open, so she prepared a surprise for her husband. Unexpectedly, her husband gave her another surprise. He kissed his ex-girlfriend as he walked in. Betrayed before the wedding day. Song-ji called to tell her parents that she wanted to cancel the wedding. My mother advised me that the invitation card had already been sent. If it is not to the point of adultery, everything should be endured. Song-ji finally did not tell the truth that her husband was having an affair. She just said that there was no reason. The two have already registered their marriage. Legally, they are a real husband and wife, so they have to divide the property in half. The debts must also be split in half. Song-ji accused the other party of being at fault. She herself should not bear this debt. The lawyer told her to take out evidence to sue her husband. But Song-ji had no evidence. At that time, her emotions burst out. She only knew how to hug her husband to let go. Basically, he didn't think about collecting evidence. Song-ji escapes from his memories. The old story did not dare to look back. In short, she didn't want to see him. The bastard owes money on the house. She got up and went to the bathroom. As soon as she sat down, she felt cold. She panicked and quickly stood up, seeing the toilet start to foam again. Song-ji angrily took the tools to find the house upstairs and talked. But I didn't expect that the person who opened the door was my ex-boyfriend. There was a dark past with her when she was 21 years old. Her ex-boyfriend saw her eyes glow. I couldn't even see it, but I got closer. At the crucial moment, his wife suddenly appeared behind, just when he was about to introduce Song-ji. But Song-ji kicked his foot hard. She angrily scolded, saying that the toilet in my house can no longer be used. They need to find the cause of the problem. When he got home, Song-ji was angry and spread all over the house. She just wanted to live a peaceful life. But acquaintances keep moving in here one after another. Makes her uncomfortable at all. It's time to go to school, so I just wear a swimsuit and refuse to take it off. Song-ji patiently advised the boy to change his clothes. But the rope took this opportunity to make conditions. It was okay to change clothes, but when she was in kindergarten, she had to play the role of the boy's mother. Song-ji was afraid that he would see Hannah again at the nursery, so he tried to put on his black glasses and go out. When she arrived at the kindergarten, she introduced herself to the teacher and her classmates, Song-ji, who is her mother. Song-ji frantically waved her hand, but everyone still believed that she was the godmother. They thought she was waving goodbye. After taking the rope to school, Song-ji went to the cafe to work, while standing and talking to the owner of the restaurant in his hometown. Suddenly, the parents came to the restaurant, making her unable to avoid it. The group of parents who enthusiastically surrounded her misunderstood her as the owner of the restaurant. Song-ji wanted to explain, but the owner pushed her to her seat. Tell her to just sit and talk to the parents. Parents always want their children to learn English with strings. That's why they really want to entice a relationship with Song-ji. At this time, Hannah was at work when she received a message in the group. The three people sent a photo of meeting Song-ji at the coffee shop. Hannah was guarding in her heart. Song-ji didn't reply to his message. Now I see that Song-ji is enthusiastic about parents like that. Make her uncomfortable in her heart. Song-ji finally managed to see off the group of parents. The tragedy is that parents show off their oil every day to show their love for Vietnam. In the end, I didn't pay for coffee. They automatically assumed that Song-ji was the master so they could drink coffee for free. So that Song-ji can only pay out of pocket. When he came home from work, Song-ji saw outside the door frying paper. Neighbors across the street warned her not to leave children's toy cars in public areas. Song-ji criticized the people who live here are not normal. You should move out of this place quickly. As soon as she left, the man opposite bowed his head and went home. He tripped over the car and almost fell. Read the note and still leave it here? Or let me move out quickly. Song-ji went to the supermarket to buy things. She saw that Hannah was there too. He also greeted her again. Song-ji was frightened and quickly ran away. The two began to play the game of cat and mouse. Song-ji was caught by Hannah in person. She couldn't help but go out to review the old story with Hannah. The two have not seen each other for 10 years. Hannah asks Song-ji why he doesn't stay in New York. Anyway, the other side lives better. Now back in Korea, sometimes even finding a job is a problem. Song-ji sighed. Every time Hannah talks, she also arranges to scold the staff. Always looked very worried about her. Then arbitrarily assess whether she is living well. The result makes Song-ji feel very unhappy. This was the reason why she had cut off contact with Hannah in the past. She was very dissatisfied with the fact that Hannah kept picking on her, but she had never praised her once. Hannah was also angry. The men Song-ji brought to everyone in the past were strange. She couldn't stand by and watch. Song-ji, in his excitement, revealed the secret himself. That's right, so it's time for divorce. Are you satisfied? The two of them calmed down. We didn't make an appointment, but remembered the time we used to be together. They then thought that even if they turned into old women, they will also be together as close friends for life. But now the human scene is gone. That night, Hannah thought about Song-ji's situation. She misunderstands that Song-ji is a single mother raising her children alone. Because of the heartache for Song-ji, he couldn't help but shed tears. On Song-ji's side, she asks Jae why she wants to adopt her as a mother. Jae said the reason. The boy didn't want to always be the last person to be picked up. I also want to prove to other friends that I have a mother to pick me up after school. Song-ji listened and softened his heart. She didn't ruthlessly refuse Jae, so she could only continue to pretend to be a mother. The 3 children of the other group of parents were all taking craft classes. The children also wanted to invite Jae to participate, so they asked the teacher to increase the list. This teacher is the wife of Song-ji's ex-boyfriend. Seeing Song-ji's photo, she was very surprised and didn't know why she met acquaintances wherever she went. At this time, Song-ji also met her ex-boyfriend at the gym. Her ex-boyfriend showed off in front of her, taking the initiative to make an appointment to meet her. Song-ji got goosebumps. She hurriedly left, and the group of parents went to the cafe again. Song-ji is forced to stop work to receive them. One of the parents sent a joint shopping message in the group, asking everyone to buy. 2 other parents immediately placed an order. Song-ji looked at the price of the moment. She clearly said that this month she has to save money. The group of parents laughed at the meeting by species. Hannah only knows how to go to work all day. She has a high-end house, no shoulders, and has never bought things. Only Hannah, who didn't suit them, rarely showed up. Hannah in the story had not eaten lunch at this time. She was busy finishing work so that she would take time off to pick up her child in the afternoon. But before leaving, she received news that there was an urgent part of the matter that needed to be handled. She called her husband to pick up the child, but her husband had a party with the investor in the evening. It is impossible to leave work early. My mother-in-law is already traveling, so she has no home. Hannah couldn't separate and was about to call the teacher at the kindergarten. Then the head of the department suddenly called out angrily. The head of the department was very angry. Obviously, she could delegate the work to someone else, but she had to do it herself. She has 2 children and is now pregnant with a 3rd. It is not easy to persevere in going to work. You should not carry all the work on yourself. Whether it's work or childcare, she should learn to find help. Hannah shed tears. She worked so hard that she was afraid that she would be aborted by the market. The understanding and care of the department school made her nervous. Nerves relax. Returning to Hannah's office to assign work to a team member, she still asked to take time off to pick up her child as planned. The staff also understood Hannah's situation and volunteered to help her. Hannah was very touched when she heard that, and she finally left the company with peace of mind. Hannah called the kindergarten teacher to say that she was going to pick up her child now. But she was told that the child had already been picked up by Song-ji. At this time, Song-ji was turning into a babysitter. She played enough tricks to make the 3 children laugh, haha. Hannah gives Song-ji some money to thank her for helping take care of her child. Moreover, when Song-ji gave birth, she didn't help her at all, so this money was considered compensation. Song-ji decided to make everything clear, so he told the story of being cheated on by his father. Divorce, debt for the house, even the fact that the rope is my nephew. And the fact that I am not the owner of the cafe is all. Song-ji explained that she didn't mean it. She also didn't know where the rumors came from, but the more it spread, the bigger it was, like a snowball. Hannah comforted her in this neighborhood just like that. Especially the other group of parents. On the outside, they look gentle, but behind the scenes, they calculate all sorts of things. But she's glad that Song-ji has appeared again. The two of them can also be as close as before. Song-ji also burst into emotions. Finding his old friend was like finding his lost treasure. The two took the children out and happened to meet a parent in the group. Returning purchases in the morning group. Song-ji exclaimed, as soon as she moved here, she thought she was a monster who couldn't get along. Unexpectedly, everyone was only bright on the outside, and everyone was as stubborn as anyone behind their backs. Before going to sleep, Song-ji accidentally received a phone call from her ex-boyfriend. Her boyfriend, who was sitting outside the stairs, secretly called her. He begged to meet Song-ji privately. At the same time, he said that after marriage, he and his wife were just comrades. An alarm sounded in Song-ji's heart. She suspects that this is a tricky trick of a married man. Song-ji told Hannah about her ex-boyfriend's appointment to meet her. Hannah suspects that he is the father of this mountain who looks after the Crossbow Mountain. She reminded Song-ji to be careful. Moreover, since Song-ji moved into this house, I have encountered all kinds of unpleasant things. Hannah felt that it was because the feng shui of the house was not good. So I asked Song-ji to go see a fortune teller. Song-ji felt ashamed of herself because she was poor and had no money to go to fortune telling. Maybe she was just a little unlucky. Song-ji arrives home. Coincidentally, the neighbor opposite was frying paper on the door of her house. He asked her to clean up the toy car. Song-ji went to reason that the toy car did not block the fire alarm. Dat here did not violate the law. But the other party is a lawyer. He reasoned that Dat was here to get in his way. Song-ji looked at it for himself. She found the man in front of her. It turned out to be the lawyer handling her divorce. At that time, the two even quarreled. At this time, the man also recognized her. He exclaimed that it was a narrow alley. The obnoxious people all gathered together. Song-ji was fully convinced that the feng shui of this house was problematic. The next day, she immediately went to find a fortune teller. As soon as the fortune teller opened his mouth, he guessed that she was in hell. The people who come here have problems with men. Song-ji asked him what to do in the future. The fortune teller was entered by a fairy. Through the Song-ji, it was drawn. He guessed that there was no problem with the feng shui of the house. The white horse prince was close by. Next year, she will get married. If you ignore the luck of the flower peach this time, you can't get married. The next time you have to wait until you are 78 years old. Song-ji came home with a general confidant. She really wanted to know who the white horse prince hiding next to her was. She didn't want to wait until she was old to get married. At this time, she received a message from her ex-boyfriend. He made an appointment for Song-ji to go downstairs to meet. Song-ji walked to the appointment. She wanted to scold her ex-boyfriend for waking up. She knows that men always can't forget their first love. But the ex-boyfriend is already married. There should be no more thoughts about her. Who would have thought that his ex-boyfriend suddenly became a demon and said that he loved his wife very much? But only love without being close to him. He can't stand it. He desperately needs Song-ji's help. Song-ji moved downstairs to talk, so that Jinwoo's ex-boyfriend can tell the whole truth. Jinwoo lamented that he respected his wife's thoughts. As long as his wife likes him, he will try to follow it. Every time before the couple's activities, he will create a gentle atmosphere. His wife was very pleased with that. But starting a few months ago, Jinwoo's wife suddenly became cold to him. Every night, she watches the iPad and laughs, ignoring Jinwoo's gestures of all kinds. He pressed when his wife was not paying attention and checked the iPad. But he didn't expect that he couldn't solve the password. Jinwoo is worried that his wife is having an affair. So, I asked Song-ji to stand from a woman's perspective, to analyze what my wife thinks in the end. Song-ji looked at Jinwoo, who was crying. She promised to think of a way to help him clarify what was going on. The next day, Song-ji goes to the cafe to go to work. She took out the fortune teller's talisman for her. Think about when the white horse prince is by his side. The owner of the shop saw the talisman and asked her if she had gone to see fortune telling. Song-ji looked at the owner in front of him. She suddenly remembered that the fortune teller said that the white horse prince was right in front of her. So she immediately listed the owner of the inn, Kim Ji-in, on the list of princes. Moreover, Ji-in was even more enthusiastic about her today. He took the initiative to invite her to eat with him. The two went to the restaurant. Song-ji beat the drum in his heart. In order not to miss this peach blossom, she went to the toilet to redecorate. I also removed my hair to make myself look a little younger. Returning to his seat, Song-ji used a soft tone to talk to Ji-in. She asked how old he was this year. In her heart, she predicted that it must be about 30 years old. The sisterly love at the age of 5 is acceptable to her. Who would have thought that Ji-in was only 28 years old? It was completely beyond her expectations. At this time, the neighbor's lawyer, Cha Hui-nu, was also going to eat with his client here. His client heard the movement on the other side, looking at the appearance of the two of them again. She suspected that Song-ji and Ji-in were not in the book. I can't help but think of my adulterous husband. For a moment, it was like a volcano erupting in her heart. She wants to turn all adulterers into gold. Song-ji had no idea that the stranger was having an intention against him. When they finished eating, the two walked outside. Seeing that Ji-in turned his back to him and raised his arms. Song-ji guessed that Ji-in wanted me to put my arm around him. The next second, she found out that Ji-in was just wearing a helmet. After saying goodbye to see her again, he climbed on the scooter and left. Song-ji thought deeply. She analyzed that scooters can represent white horses. Lawyer brother Nu interrupted her thoughts. He laughed at her as the woman who had just been hurt by the divorce proceedings. He quickly searched for others. The two didn't say much, but they quarreled, and then everyone left. The next day, Song-ji sees Jin-woo's wife, Chan-young, coming to the cafe. The other party is happily looking at the iPad. She wanted to research what secrets were in the iPad, but due to the distance is too far to see clearly. At this time, the opponent's iPad ran out of battery, so he asked the third charger for help. After confirming that the other party had returned, Song-ji quickly decrypted the code. Jin saw that she couldn't research and took the iPad. He successfully decrypted the code based on the remaining fingerprints. Song-ji prints out the things in the iPad and sends them to Jin-woo. It turned out that Chan-young was not having an affair at all, but was just fascinated by reading novels. He is also a member with the highest VIP rank. Jin-woo was extremely upset. Obviously, he wants to be muscular, he wants to be muscular, he wants to be handsome, he wants to be handsome. Why doesn't the wife look at them but fantasize about these fictional characters?
Song-ji analyzed.
Every time before starting, Jin-woo even adjusted the temperature and humidity in the room well. But the general talent in the novel will not be like that. Song-ji suggested that he choose a type of general master to try a little first. That night, Jin-woo learned to follow the appearance of a great master. No longer too carefully observing his wife's reaction. Rather, it is to learn from the general talent and say a few strong words. Sure enough, a real miracle happened. Chan-young's eyes immediately lit up. She enthusiastically asks him over and over again. Jin-woo immediately sent a message thanking Song-ji. Song-ji didn't expect to just mess up, but he also really solved the problem. In her heart, she had an extremely sense of accomplishment. At the same time, Chan-young also remembered the scene last night. She had a hard time understanding why her husband had suddenly changed. She always felt that her husband was not the type of man who thought so much. So he suspected that someone behind him showed him. Song-ji helped Jin-woo solve his troubles. As for herself, there was a problem that was difficult to solve. It turned out that the kindergarten organized the father-son activity only by name, requiring fathers to participate. Ji didn't have a father, so he asked Song-ji to find a temporary father for the boy. Besides Song-ji, there is no man who can play this role. She showed that she was unwilling, and she was extremely disappointed. The boy turned from a small son into a small bitter melon. Ji heard that and said, at that time, he will be a father to participate in activities with the boy. He's a master at playing. Things like this can definitely be solved easily.
You smiled happily.
Song-ji also thanked Ji for his help. Early the next morning, Song-ji received a message from Ji-yeon. Tell her not to feel heavy. On the day of participating in activities with Ji, give the cafe a day off. Song-ji thought to himself, there is only one explanation for how he has done this. That's why he likes her. While she was in a daze, she suddenly received a phone call from Jin-woo. Jin-woo on the other end of the page is begging her for help to bring the key. Ever since Jin-woo opened his clothes, his father couldn't hold back. This time, the two of them went out to rent a room and brought a lot of props. Father Incense had already made all the preparations and was just waiting for him to open the props. Jin-woo only found out at this time that he forgot to bring the key. He didn't want to ruin his wife's interest, so he could only call Song-ji to bring the key. Song-ji is a good person, he does it to the end. She went to Jin-woo's house to get the keys, and then went to the hotel. She and a man in a suit carried the elevator together. Who would have thought that he had just entered the elevator? There was a woman who rushed out and grabbed her hair and scolded her for being a fox. The other man ran away in the chaos. And poor Song-ji was misunderstood and had to endure the battle. She explained that she basically didn't know the man just now. The other woman kept pushing for a fight. At this time, Hui Nu hurriedly ran over and pulled the other woman out. She was the client who disparaged Song-ji in the cafe. Hui Nu advised her to calm down. Song-ji, after escaping, had a tantrum. Out of revenge, she quickly rushed to the other woman. Hui Nu tried to pull the two out but was exposed. He was grabbed by the hair of two people who would not let go. It was very difficult for him to pull the two of them out, but he was pushed to the ground. She scolded Song-ji for being an adulterous woman who led someone else's husband. As soon as she finished speaking, she saw the glass plate come down from the car. On the other party's neck was wearing her necklace. At this time, she knew that she had received the wrong person. The woman immediately grabbed the fox's hair. Hui Nu apologized to Song-ji. His client was too angry and unwise. What happened just now was just a misunderstanding. Song-ji, when he found out that the other woman's husband was having an affair. So she quickly ran to help her deal with the fox. Hui Nu was worried that the matter would get bigger, so he hurriedly called the police. At this time, Jin-woo upstairs was still waiting for Song-ji to give him the key. He was worried that his wife would gradually lose patience if she waited too long. So he wore a see-through shirt and went out to find someone to borrow tools. Passers-by saw him dressed like that, and they suspected that he was a pervert. So I reported it to the police team that was handling the shooting case earlier. Song-ji saw that Jin-woo was being questioned by the police, so he gave all kinds of signals to get his attention. She then placed the key in the fire cabinet next to her and motioned for Jin-woo to get it. After doing these things, Song-ji quietly withdrew. She finally got out of this trouble. The next day, Brother Nu stood at the door of Song-ji's house, wanting to ring the bell, but felt embarrassed. While he was lying, Song-ji suddenly opened the door. Looking at Song-ji, who was confused in front of him, he stammered. He lied that he had to go to work. Song-ji saw that he had something to say. At this time, Brother Nu conveyed the client's apology. Song-ji also apologized to Brother Nu for holding his hair yesterday. Seeing that Brother Nu accepted the apology without saying anything more, Song-ji was very dissatisfied. She asked Brother Nu to apologize to her in return. Brother Nu is a person as straight as a horse's intestines. He thinks that he has not done anything wrong and will not speak peace. The two of them had not said a few words and began to argue. Fortunately, the lovely chord stopped in time. Song-ji told a story. The owner of the cafe is Jin and the rope to participate in father-son activities for Nga. Yun-e originally didn't agree with her indiscriminately looking for such a man. But when she saw Jin's photo, she immediately changed her attitude.
Như Constantine Price.
This handsome guy just saw that there was a campaign treasure. She also hopes that Song-ji will try to cut down people soon. Song-ji also told Hannah about Jin's good story. Let you help me analyze whether Jin feels for her. Hannah asked like her father. She asked the other party's age. Ask if there are any houses. Ask if the cafe is personal property. Song-ji scolded her for thinking too far. Hannah didn't expect Song-ji to be hurt. If she really wants to find a boyfriend, then she has to think about the aspects of the future. Now they are all past the age where they just need to love each other. Song-ji firmly believes that love does not discriminate between ages. Hannah advised her to sober up a little. Don't easily fall into a love pool like that. In the evening, when he arrived at Song-ji's house, he received a message from Ji-in. Ji-in participated in this activity for the first time, so he sent her some photos. To ask Song-ji if she dresses appropriately. Song-ji looked at all kinds of Jin's appearance. I couldn't help but smile like a flower. The next day, the activities at the kindergarten were organized as planned. The women in the group of mothers silently compare their husbands. Hannah's husband, wearing glasses with soaring hair, just appeared. Everyone almost thought that the big man of society had gone to the wrong place. The principal exclaimed, afraid that he was dishonest. Bae Song-ji took off his eyeglasses and explained that he was the father of the twins. Hannah also came to relieve the siege. At this time, there was no longer a misunderstanding. Hannah divides the fruit she buys for everyone to eat. Everyone ate while silently discussing the economic capacity of the Hannah family. Song-ji is wearing branded goods, so the income must not be bad. Parents have an intention with Hannah. Very dissatisfied with the fact that everyone used to pick up her house. Therefore, it was evaluated that Hannah Fruits brought normal. She could have found a better shop. As a result, she was criticized by her husband. Hannah is pregnant and can still go to work. But she just stayed at home waiting for her husband to make money. The other person was very angry, so he hinted at the wind. At the moment when the atmosphere was tense, Song-ji and Ji-in held Jae's hand and walked in. The combination of beautiful boys and girls immediately attracted everyone's attention. After a brief moment of amazement, the parents began to look for stories again. Criticized Jae's father for not paying attention to education. At such an important moment, Song-ji found a young man to participate in father-son activities. Hannah turned on the parents. Jae is now being sent to New York. He is the general director of a securities company, managing hundreds of billions of private investment funds. Moreover, he also graduated from the Ivy League. The group of rich and dirty mothers immediately enthusiastically pulled Song-ji's hand. I begged her to wait when Jae's father came back. He would definitely have a gathering. Song-ji really couldn't stand it and dragged Hannah and Ji-in into an empty room. She blamed the two of them for not talking dirty. Hannah slashed the wind again, as if it were real. The person she said was the prototype from Jae's mother. It doesn't count as nonsense. Ji-in also appeared innocent. He said that he received a hint from Hannah, so he helped. Song-ji was very helpless. She let the two of them go out to play games. When playing the game of throwing the ball, the other parents just made it look good. Only Ji-in is serious about playing and forgetting heaven and earth. Song-ji saw that the other person was exuding youthful vitality. I almost fell in love again. Ji-in saw a ball that almost hit Song-ji. He quickly hugged her with his eyes and avoided her. In Song-ji's heart, it was like there were 7 deer running by. She felt extremely sweet. The other parent's husband, because he wanted to compete for the first place in the game, played dirty to block Song-ji. Song-ji immediately counterattacked. The two almost moved their hands together. The other criticized Song-ji for taking advantage of her body to suppress her husband. Hannah questioned her why she was so mean to her family. The two sides of the Yongbao were swords. When the two sides were about to rush into each other, a 5-year-old parent, who is also quite old, carelessly broke a bone, so he was taken away by an ambulance. This incident has temporarily calmed the conflict between the two houses. But Song-ji didn't submit. He asked for high and low divisions. The other person's husband was quick to fight. 2 players compete for strength. As a result, the other party was angry and red on his face, but he still lost to Song-ji. Song-ji stood up on his chair and shouted arrogantly to receive everyone's applause. The other man's husband fell to the ground and lamented. Jian apologizes to Jae for not winning first place. But Jae felt very happy playing. Song-ji also gave Jian a like. She thanked him for his help. On the other side, since Jin-woo went in the direction of the president, he and his wife have become closer. Every night is very sweet. Chanyeong asks Jin-woo if someone has suggested it. Jin-woo lies that it's all his own research. Chanyeong didn't believe it. She secretly checked Jin-woo's phone. So he discovered the chat logs of Jin-woo and Song-ji. One day, Song-ji and Hannah come to pick up the children after school. When preparing to take the children to the amusement park, other mothers also wanted to go with them after learning about it. The children played, and the adults sat and drank coffee together. The other woman made it difficult again. She laughed at her because there was a lack of money in the house, so she went to work. The taste of money is so sweet. Moreover, I earned. The other person was bounced back to the runner-up. At this time, her child cried again and ran to her eyes. The boy was eaten by Hannah's child. Sia explained that she didn't. The other woman was angry. She did not have black and white stools, but scolded her for not being educated. At the moment when everyone was arguing, Chanyeong suddenly appeared. She said she was filming a video just now. She then showed everyone the video. The video clearly shows that the other woman's son pushed Sia first. She knew that she was the opposite. In his heart, he was not committed, but he still had to apologize to Hannah. Hannah thanked Chanyeong for her help. Chanyeong introduces himself. At the same time, they want to apply to join their sister group. When I saw that the two people agreed to confess, I called her with me. Chanyeong asked Song-ji a question. Is this sister happy to have an affair with my brother? Song-ji is misunderstood by Chanyeong. Became the object of Jinwoo's affair. Song-ji tries to explain. The two used to love each other when they were in school. After breaking up, I have never been in contact. The reason why the two met a while ago. It's because Jinwoo asks her for her opinion on the love affair. As soon as Song-ji spoke, even Hannah next to him was stunned. Song-ji further explained. Jinwoo loves Chanyeong very much. It's just annoying that the couple's life is not harmonious. She was just trying to give the other party a few hints. Because to prove their purity, Song-ji agrees to let her check the diary for the story. After Chanyeong knows the antecedents and consequences, she gratefully grabbed Song-ji's hand. Thanks to her, the couple found a sense of stimulation again. After clearing up the misunderstanding, Song-ji and Chanyeong jumped back and forth on the table. Nuts jumped like 2 children. Chanyang also begged to join Song-ji and Hannah's sister group. In this place, Chanyang had no friends and he usually didn't know who to confide in. On the way home, Song-ji sees Chanyang and his wife intimately walking together. In her heart, she couldn't help but feel admiration. She didn't know when her prince's white horse would appear. At this time, Eun-gil told Song-ji that she wanted to take the rope on a trip. The 2-day-and-a-night trip of the mother and daughter is also an opportunity for Song-ji to take a break. Song-ji happily danced his hands and feet. Around this time, she experienced the hardships of being a full-time mother. Now, he finally has time to be alone. After Eun-gil and the rope started, Song-ji couldn't wait to take a shower. She planned to spend a happy day in the way she liked. But tragedy happened. While standing unsteadily, Song-ji fell hard to the ground. Her waist hurt so much that she couldn't move. Song-ji shouted to activate the AI function in the phone. To help me call my sister, unfortunately, Eun-gil turned off the phone. Song-ji wanted to call the police again, but now she had nothing on her. It is really extremely unsightly. As time passed minute by second, Song-ji's heart was gradually taken over by despair. Coincidentally, Chanyang upstairs was also in the toilet. Suddenly, she heard a wail. When listening to Chanyang, he noticed that the sound came from the toilet. She took all the courage to ask who was looking for a story. Song-ji heard the sound and immediately asked Chanyang for help. Chanyang quickly runs downstairs to rescue Song-ji from the bathroom. Experiencing this, both Hannah and Chanyang began to worry. Song-ji would later become a lonely old man. It seems that the marriage is in a hurry. At Chanyang's suggestion, Song-ji joined a running association. Hopefully you can find a quality boyfriend in it. But what Song-ji didn't expect was that the neighbor's lawyer was also a member of the union. Moreover, he had just seen that he wanted to find a boyfriend in her union. Song-ji was a little nervous, and in a careless moment, she almost fell. Fortunately, Brother Nu quickly helped her catch up. The distance between the two of them was extremely close at this time, and the atmosphere that should have been filled with ambiguity. But Brother Nu directly dropped her to the ground. Song-ji was both angry and annoyed because in retaliation for her brother, she activated her own motor cell group. During the run, she was in the lead. Her efforts successfully attracted the attention of the man in yellow. The other party took the initiative to win her heart. After the end of the run, everyone gathers together. The man in yellow took the initiative to approach Song-ji. He said that he was a deceased wife. It was also revealed that most of the people here have been divorced once. Song-ji was amazed after hearing it. She thought that she was lost. Unexpectedly, everyone has their own purpose. Then everyone took turns introducing their reasons for divorce, so that those who intend can understand the situation better. After introducing a Song-ji, it was observed that everyone had their own ideas. Only Brother Nu came for a real jog. When the party came to an end, the man in yellow looked for Song-ji to talk privately. He said bluntly that he meant Song-ji, so he wanted to take it a step further with her. After saying that, he took out his phone and listed the prison classes that had been prepared in advance. He began to ask Song-ji's work situation, the situation of children, the situation of housing and debt. Song-ji didn't like being seen as a cheap liquidation item. She said bluntly that although she had been divorced once, she didn't feel inferior to anyone else. I also don't want to find my half according to material conditions. Brother Nu went to find Song-ji to go home together, but he accidentally heard these words. His impression of Song-ji has also changed since then. On the way home, the two chatted with each other. Song-ji exclaimed, "On the news that there was a criminal who escaped from prison in this area. The police are also offering professional bonuses. If they catch the criminal who escaped from prison, they will be rewarded with money." As soon as she spoke, there was a person in black wearing a mask and a hat. In his hand, something like a knife appeared in front of them. Song-ji didn't have time to think and rushed straight at the other person. At the same time, she also called Brother Nu to come and grab it. The black-clothed man waved. Song-ji felt that this sound was very familiar. So he took off his mask. The newly discovered result turned out to be a double T. She didn't even have time to ask why, but she ran away. Song-ji and brother Nu chased closely. When he ran to the end of the road, he bumped into another man in black. He pulled down the other person's mask hard. At this time, he found out that this man in black was the criminal. Seeing that the criminal holding the stone wanted to take revenge on them, but he gave him a blow from behind. After the police arrived and took the criminal away, Song-ji asked why he was dressed like this and appeared here. He was still holding a knife. But T opened the foil package. It turned out that the inside was not a knife, but a grilled skewer. He explained that he was working as a merchant. Intuition told Song-ji that he had something to hide. But when he saw that, he sobbed. He begged Song-ji not to tell Hannah about this. Under Song-ji's questioning, Song-T finally told the truth. He bought virtual currency to make money. After tasting the sweet fruit, he couldn't hold back even more. Want to make more money to pay off the house. So, I put all the company's money and mortgage money to invest in it. The results were all losses. But the devil came down and begged Song-ji not to tell Hannah about this. Song-ji didn't expect Hannah to be hidden. She asked him to tell Hannah in person. Tomorrow she will ask Hannah if she will admit it. But after returning home, he thought for a long time, but still didn't dare to tell the truth. It was because Hannah accidentally saw the mortgage contract. She asked her husband to find out the truth. Hannah ran away from home in anger. Song-T couldn't find her, so he hurriedly contacted Song-ji. Song-ji finds Hannah in the park. She was heartbroken for Hannah's plight and cried loudly with her. Hannah could not forgive her husband's mistakes. She wants a divorce. Song-ji temporarily took Hannah to his house. Now that she is pregnant, she is forced to rest well. Hannah wanted a snack. Song-ji didn't say much and took Young-ji out to buy. The two arrived at the street shop just in time to meet Hui-nu. Coincidentally, the owner of the newspaper shop had already sold out. Now, she's closing the counter. Song-ji, because to satisfy Hannah's wishes, I begged Hui-nu to give me the things he had just bought for me. There was a pregnant woman in her house who wanted to eat this dish. Hui-nu kindly agreed, but tried to wake up and tease her. He dirtied the food so high that Song-ji couldn't reach out. The two of them were joking when Jian suddenly appeared. Coincidentally, he also came to buy snacks. Hearing that the owner of the shop was closing the stall, he couldn't help but feel regretful. The shopkeeper explained that the ingredients he brought with him had already been sold out. When you know what ingredients are needed to make fish cakes, it can be taken out for the hostess to use under the dedication of the hostess. Song-ji was satisfied to buy a bag of fish cakes that had just come out of the oven. Jian also kindly took the three of them home. Before saying goodbye, the new apologized to Song-ji. Just now, he really wanted to give the fish cake to her. Song-ji thanked him for his good intentions. Hannah ate the food, and she looked relaxed. But Song-ji knows the deep affection between Hannah and her husband. She also misses her two children very much for letting Hannah go home. Song-ji lied that he wanted to buy a house-cleaning robot like Hannah's. So, I told her to see if it was good. Hannah controls the robot to clean the house remotely. She is also convenient through cameras to monitor the life of the father and son. It's not good to see her husband crying in her heart every day. In the end, Hannah chose to go home with her husband to face difficulties. The couple got along as well as before. At the same time, a funny thing happened. Stocks that the couple used to celebrate their child's birthday to buy. It is increasing outstandingly, has made a lot of money. The couple excitedly hugged each other to congratulate. He had just sent Hannah off to Song-gi when he received a phone call from John. She ran to the front door of the cafe when a passerby told her. John was drunk and lay down asleep on the ground. He had just used John's phone to call the nearest contact number. Song-gi woke up John, interested in asking how much he had drunk after all. Who would have expected John to suddenly kiss her a little? But Jai was suspicious. She looked at John innocently, but John kissed again. The next day, Songgi tried to ask John if he remembered anything about last night. John pretended to be too drunk the night before, and he couldn't remember anything. Hannah and Chanyeong come to be Songgi's love master. Songgi guessed that John's actions last night were probably out of control after drinking too much. Anyway, developing love with a boy who is a few years younger than me is not an easy task. Songgi could not control himself, but imagined. If John and I are together, we have to dress in a cute style to date John. He also had to try to learn the popular language of young people in order to have a common voice with John. Hannah saw through the thoughts of the two of them. She teased her if she really had a good feeling for John Chi by trying to go back and forth first. The three of them chatted happily and laughed endlessly. But John, floating behind the third counter, was very careless. He didn't know how to express his situation to the song. On the way back, the three of them saw with their own eyes a recent celebrity filming a video on the side of the road. I heard that online celebrities have a very good income. The people in this neighborhood all followed suit and began to immerse themselves in video recording. A mother in the group of mothers posted a video that has received a lot of likes and followers. Song Ji congratulated her, but the other mother had mixed emotions. Because under that video there are a lot of malicious comments, which seriously affect her emotions. So she begged but Gi introduced herself to a lawyer to plan to sue those malicious commenters. Song-gi took his mother to his brother's lawyer's office, raised his buttocks, and made him a little stronger. It turned out that Brother Nu was also filming a promotional video. Song-gi explained to the normal mother that she was not like that, so she just asked with peace of mind. At this time, the mother said her problem. After seeing off her mother and Brother Nu to go home together. Song-gi remembered the scene in the law office. She laughed non-stop. Waiting for her to finish laughing, Brother Nu sincerely invited her to work in his office. He said that she understood what she meant and could help her protect her client. Song-gi, after thinking about it, agreed to Brother Nu's invitation. Brother Nu invited her to eat while he was happy. After a few glasses of wine, the two of them were a little drunk. Brother Nu told Song-ji that he and she had both been divorced. Now the house he is staying in is the former wedding house. On his wife's birthday, he said that he was working overtime. Later, he found out that his wife was traveling with the provincial people. Song-gi is extremely sympathetic to his brother's plight. She felt that he was also a pitiful person. But Brother Nu said that he had already walked out of the wound. Now he doesn't believe in love anymore. Returned to the residential area. The two drunken people played in the game area like two children. Brother Nu carelessly stuck his arm in the middle of the railing. Song-ji hugged him to try to pull him out. But because of the momentary carelessness, the position of the two people was extremely intimate. While looking at each other, both of them were a little shaken. Are you confident that you won't regret it tomorrow? When Brother Nu woke up, he found himself at home in a double house. On his body, he was also wearing a pink pajamas. Remembering the situation last night, he covered his mouth in horror. Song-ji sensed his brother's urgency. She couldn't help but laugh out loud. She told Brother Nu that he vomited everywhere last night. His clothes haven't dried yet. We have to wait a little longer. Brother Nu was extremely embarrassed. He said he would come back when the clothes were dry. Then he opened the door and ran straight into his house. Unexpectedly, the door just opened. He came face to face with his parents who were visiting their children. A strange man wearing Song-gi's pajamas appeared in the house. No matter who saw it, they felt that the relationship was not normal. The parents stopped Brother Nu and asked again. After knowing the situation of your family and your age, they have graded brothers as sons-in-law. He also invited him to participate in the 60th birthday party of his mother. But when he saw that, he really couldn't see anymore. She saw off Brother Nu to the door. At the same time, he apologized for causing trouble for him. She also said that he didn't need to pay attention to the birthday party. But Brother Nu thinks that he should not be subordinate to the kindness of his elders. He promised to come to the party on time. After returning home, Song-gi had to continue to face the interrogation of his parents. Fortunately, her mother's attention has changed to voluntarily returning to the country. When you are at work, he meets a drunken man holding a bouquet of fresh flowers. He took the initiative to open the door for the other party and at the same time entered the elevator together. He guessed that maybe the other man had something funny, but he didn't know that this person was Song-gi's ex-husband. Song-gi received a message from her ex-husband, because in order to avoid affecting her parents, she pushed her ex-husband into the stairs. The ex-husband said that he had broken up with Xiao Tam. He has understood the goodness of the song, so I begged Song-gi to give him a chance to change. Song-gi warned her ex-husband that it was impossible. If he continues to bother her, she will definitely not ignore it. But the ex-husband did not know how to repent. He went to the birthday party of his mother himself. At the same time, he told the receptionist that he was a twin husband. When Hui Nu came to the party, he realized this person was the man who drank drunk last night. He misunderstood that Pisces had come back to him. So he took the fruit and left silently. Her ex-husband came down to apologize in front of her parents. Hopefully the grandparents can give him a chance to change. Parents are soft-hearted. The two grandparents advised the singers not to hold on to the old drunken mistake forever. Knowing the error correction is really very rare. Song-gi was extremely angry. When she was about to say the reason for the divorce, the door of her private room was opened. Hui Nu walked in. The two men both considered the other as enemies. Everyone tries to show in front of their parents. Parents are like choosing goods. They compared who had better conditions than who is more suitable for Gemini. But I can't stand it anymore. She told her parents that she initially divorced because her ex-husband was having an affair. The twin parents, when they learned that their daughter had been depressed. Seeing the other man's father shamelessly, he also came to ask to come back. The two grandparents immediately got angry, and they slapped the other man's father's name. Eun-gil asks Hui Nu to help him get the rope out, but Gi ignores the comedy. She drank alone, waiting for Hui Nu to bring the rope back. The twin parents were hugging their two daughters and apologized. They blamed themselves for not standing on their daughter's point of view and thinking. The whole family is in harmony as before. After the end of the party, the two parents returned to their hometown. Eun-gil led the wire to leave first. She tries to wake up to the fact that Pisces and Hui Nu have their own space together. Song-gi apologized to the hero. She felt that she had made him laugh. At the same time, she also looked at her man with an exclamation. Not only was he betrayed, but he was also entangled. Hui Nu subconsciously exclaimed, "Those men did not understand the goodness of the song." As soon as he spoke, the atmosphere suddenly became more open. Song-gi deliberately changed the subject gently. At this time, a child driving by almost hit the river. Hui Nu quickly hugged her and turned away. Song-gi leaned on the heart of the princess. She could clearly hear her heart beating. The next day, Eun-gil took the rope to school when work was clear. The rope loudly called her mother in front of you. The three people in the group of mothers were extremely confused. It is clear that Song-gi is the mother. Why did another mother appear? The three of them, after speculating and discussing, however, he suspected that the two mothers of the rope were lovers. They think that the two of them, after getting married, raised the rope together. A group of mothers even considered themselves noble. She couldn't accept the existence of this kind of person in the residential area, so I spread rumors that Song-gi is gay in the group. John was sad and didn't know how to explain the last kiss. After seeing the message in the group, he remembers the intimate actions of Song-gi and Eun-gil. He didn't expect that he thought the rumors were true. He was worried that Song-gi would be hurt by the rumors. So he silently said to Song-gi, he himself is very open, can accept all kinds of love. Hope Pisces can be comfortable in front of him. Pisces at first did not understand what John meant, until Hannah showed her the messages in the group. Song-gi only understood the source of the incident. Hannah and Chanliang asked the brothers how to use the law to help them. Hui Nu seriously took out her phone again and counted the hours. He said that the legal consultation fee is 150,000 won per hour. Start counting the time from now. As soon as he heard the toll, He was afraid to send off his two friends. After Hannah and Chanliang left, you sincerely gave your opinion to the two sisters. He pointed out that at first it was the second he asked her to pretend to be a mother. Now you should also ask for an opinion a second before deciding how to deal with it. Song Ji felt that the brother and sister were reasonable. The next day, she came to ask if the boy wanted her to continue being a mother or something. Second said that now his mother often picks up the boy from school. There is no need for the Song Gi to pretend to be a mother anymore. After understanding the boy's thoughts, Song Gi began to act. With the help of Hannah and Chanliang, she wore a noble outfit wearing a branded bag and appeared in front of her parents. She solemnly proves what she is. Her mother is her biological sister. She hopes that they will stop speculating in the future to avoid damaging the reputation of others. The other three mothers, after knowing the truth, were both embarrassed and sad. They couldn't stop raising their heads in front of the Song. After solving these problems, Song Ji went to work as usual. While she was arranging her recent divorces, she lamented that the number of divorced people is increasing. Initially, she thought that the divorce itself was different. Now she has just discovered that there are many people who divorce for many different reasons. She asked Hui knew if anyone would choose to remarry in the future. Hui knew once had a failed marriage. He had absolutely no thoughts of remarrying. Song Gi asked if anyone would fall in love again. Hui knew sensitively asked if Gemini wanted to fall in love. Did she have a crush on John? He also thought that John was too delicate. When he heard that Song Ji admitted that John was only 20 years old, his age was a little too young. Hui knew involuntarily breathed a sigh of relief, because in order to avoid his thoughts being exposed, he sent him to arrange the dossier. Song Gi tiptoed to reach for the file number on the cabinet. While carelessly she dropped a file, the two of them looked at each other with four eyes. Both of them were shaken, but they quickly took their eyes off to hide the ambiguous atmosphere just now. At this moment, an unexpected visitor walked into the law office. It turned out to be the very arrogant mother of baby Ethan in the group of mothers. Ethan's mother hesitated for a moment, and she finally said the purpose of her coming here. She decided to divorce, so she came to ask for a license to accept her divorce. Faced with the astonished appearance of the twins, Ethan's mother slowly told everything. In the past, Ethan's mother was also an employee of a large company. After getting married for the sake of her family, she decided to quit her job. But her husband is extremely patriarchal, and he basically doesn't look at her at all. Always despise and laugh at her. Once the couple went to the supermarket. No matter what Ethan's mother wanted to buy, her husband rejected and criticized her. This scene happened to be seen by Hannah and her husband. Ethan's mother admires Hannah, even though she is pregnant, but she still perseveres in her work. This kind of admiration gradually turns into jealousy, which makes her always aim at Hannah. After Hannah saw firsthand her husband's attitude towards her, she understood that Ethan's mother was usually arrogant. It's just to hide my low self-esteem when I don't have any status in the house. On the weekend, Ethan's mother took her child shopping while she was asking about other products. Then suddenly, I heard the staff scolding Ethan. She hurriedly ran to look and saw the goods falling all over the ground. And Ethan stood still. The black and white staff criticized Ethan for causing trouble. The two sides disputed endlessly. Ethan's father came over after parking the car. Seeing the scene in front of him, he immediately criticized his wife for not taking care of the children. He also asked his wife to apologize. Coincidentally, at this time, Songdi, Hannah, and Chanliang saw this scene. The three of them stood on Ethan's mother's side, strongly demanding to check the surveillance cameras. Employees are forced to check the camera due to pressure. The image in the camera shows that the person who dropped the goods is someone else, basically not Ethan. The three asked the staff to apologize to Ethan's mother, but the staff had a defiant attitude and resolutely refused to open their mouths. Ethan's father asked his wife to ignore it and stop causing trouble for no more reason. Experiencing this, Ethan's mother completely saw her husband's face clearly. She also considers the three sisters to help her as friends. She apologized to Hannah for her previous attitude At the same time, I also asked Hannah to think of a plan for help. It turned out that her husband was not only a patriarch. Recently, Ethan's mother also discovered that he showed signs of infidelity. But she had been paying attention for a long time, but she still hadn't figured out who the adulterer was. Hannah asked Ethan's mother to go to the law office, ask the lawyer and Songdi to help her with the divorce proceedings. Because to get evidence that Ethan's father had an affair. The duo closely watched Ethan's father's movements. They finally captured Ethan's father and a girl. Holding hands in and out of the hotel, there is accurate evidence that Ethan's mother officially filed for divorce. After solving this matter, Songdi received a phone call from the broker. It turned out that she had already sold the house. She had always wanted to sell the house to move out of here. During this time, people constantly came to see the house. Brother Nu panicked after learning about it. He soon liked the song, so he didn't want her to move out. After hesitating for a while, Brother Nu pressed the door of the house to leave. He hadn't even spoken up, but Dee had asked him first. When Song Dee heard Song Te's words, Brother Nu said to those who came to see that this house was red. The kettle is low and the way to warm is poor, and it is also said that both houses on this floor are divorced. Feng shui is not good. These words made the guests who came to see the house turn their heads away. After calculating the book, Song Dee said that even if you destroy it, it doesn't matter, because someone has already seen this house. Brother Nu was momentarily panicked, and in a hurry, he spoke his heart. I hope you can stay here forever. You don't want to move away. In a moment of urgency, he confessed his love to her. He liked to be gay, so he begged her to stay. Song Dee never thought that Brother Nu would like him. She subconsciously closed the door, waiting for her reaction to see what Brother Nu had just said. After his mood calmed down, Song Dee opened the door again. She said that it all came so suddenly, she needed time to think. Brother Nu was also aware that he confessed his love too suddenly, and he volunteered to let her think slowly. In her heart, she was very chaotic after annulling the marriage because her ex-husband had an affair. Her biggest wish is to sell the house and leave here, starting a new life. Now that the viewer has seen the house, 2 months later, the deposit can be delivered. But the fact that she confessed her love made her not know what to do. She forced herself to persevere with her beliefs. No one could stop her from leaving. Nu advised Song to go to the United States with him. She had said before that she wanted to learn a foreign language. This was the best opportunity. Song Dee didn't plan to go abroad at all. She wanted to continue to find another way out. The conversation of the two sisters was accidentally overheard by the wire. The next day, when Song Dee brought the rope to school, he happened to bump into Brother Nu in the corridor. The rope is pulled with one hand, and the other is pulled by the other. The boy said that they looked like a family of 3, and he begged to stay on the road to the United States. Brother Nu was extremely surprised. He thought that Song Dee decided to go to the United States. So I kept asking her if she really wanted to leave. When she heard the two of them discussing this topic, she was heartbroken and cried out loud. He didn't want to be away from his friends. He wanted to continue studying here. However, it takes a lot of effort to pit the wire. Who would have thought that in the evening when Ungil picked up the rope after school, he found that the rope had disappeared. The two sisters were worried about finding the whereabouts of the wire. While looking for a person, Song Dee received a phone call from Brother Nu. He said that the cord was at the law office, and the two rushed there. The rope is only now telling the truth. The boy heard that lawyers are a profession that helps people solve problems, so hopefully Brother Nu can think of a way for the boy to stay. Hearing the words in the boy's heart made Ungil delusional. Because I only care about my career, but I have never asked about the wire's thoughts. After apologizing to the rope, she took the boy away. Later, Song Dee gave Jong a resignation letter. Wait, after finding the right employee, she will officially quit her job. Song Dee stubbornly wanted to leave, and Jong also took all the courage to confess his love. He likes to go back and forth, but unfortunately because he is hesitant, he missed the opportunity. Song Dee soon knew what Jong meant to him. Love stories don't have to wait for the right time. Because there were several people who had entered her lap unconsciously. Aware that in the heart of Song Yi, There are people who feel very lost, but people will always grow in loss. He wished Song-di a good love. In the future, if he meets someone he likes, he will also take the initiative to attack. But when she made an appointment to meet who he knew, she took the initiative to respond to his thoughts. Song-di also liked the new from an early age. Hui knew is very happy that he will live tomorrow to meet them. He wants to officially confess his love to Song-di. The next day, Song-di brought a happy mood to the appointed restaurant. Who would have expected to see Hui Nu and the other woman smiling and saying? The other woman also held Hui Nu's hand, but she believed that Hui Nu caught fish with both hands. She came to see him for a while and also blamed the other party for her love affair. But in fact, the double calculation is just her illusion. When she found out that she was deceived, she retreated herself like a turtle, not wanting to see Hui Nu anymore. Hui Nu couldn't contact her forever, so she ran to the cafe to find her. Jiang saw that Song was hiding from the other party. Then she lied that she had completed the resignation procedure. He also didn't know where Song-di was. When Hui Nu was thinking about leaving, a woman called him back. She found out that the other party was the woman who had met Hui Nu that night. Song-di was heartbroken and wanted to quickly sell the house and leave here. Who would have thought that the lovers were already planning to buy a house? Again, because the girl's family had an affair, the plan was cancelled. The original plan was thwarted. However, in order to earn money to support herself, she was forced to continue working at the law office. Hui Nu asked her where she had been in the past 2 days. Song-yi's attitude was very cold, and his words were prickly. It was obvious that she was angry. Hui Nu didn't understand anything, so she asked why she was angry. Did she see him sitting with another woman on the night of the date? Song-di didn't want to hear it, but Hui Nu persisted in explaining. The woman that night was Hui Nu's ex-wife. The ex-wife wants to participate in the express program for divorcees. Initially, the reason for the divorce was because his ex-wife had an affair. Now she wants to hide this on the show. But she was worried that she would be dissatisfied after knowing it. That's why she specially came to report to Hui Nu. Hope Hui Nu doesn't calculate about the two of them meeting at the coffee shop. Actually, his ex-wife didn't come to the cafe to look for him, but because the owner came. Recently, Jian has been quite famous online. A lot of programs are competing to invite him. Hui Nu's ex-wife especially came to see the real person. After understanding everything, Song-di realized that he had misunderstood Hui Nu. She apologized that she shouldn't have trusted Hui Nu because she had been hurt. The two kissed on the road. The two decided to start a new life of their own. Not long after, Eun-gil brought the wire back to the United States. After seeing off the mother and daughter, Song-di couldn't wait to make an appointment with Hui Nu. The two were playing on the bed when Eun-gil suddenly brought the string back. The two quickly redressed to listen to Eun-gil tell the reason for their return. Eun-gil said she wanted to let String and her family be together. During this time of returning, she also enjoyed the feeling of having relatives by her side. So, I decided to stay in Korea. Song Den-tooth hugged his sister with both hands. Later, this place was the common house of the two sisters. The two sisters held an afternoon party to treat friends. Hannah had just finished giving birth and also made a video call. Wait, after enough rest, she will take the children to see you. Happy living enjoys being fed by the nuns. The two of them showed such affection to no one around. Next to her are lovers, relatives, and friends. Song-di is extremely satisfying. Everyone is going through a normal life. Ordinary people like them meet and get to know each other. The days that followed were no longer trivial. The movie ends. Okay, let's come here today. People like and comment. Follow me to watch hot movies. Every day when I check into the channel, I will smile happily all day. Bye-bye.